So, very good evening to my dear friends. So, we have yet another successful candidate with us, and here Ananya is with us today for the Toppers Talk of NABARD 2023, and we'll know about this examination, how she prepared, how to get to know about the NABARD, and what was her timetable. All these things we'll be knowing from Ananya herself only. But before that, let's congratulate Ananya for a grand success. My heartiest congratulations to Ananya for your success in NABARD 2023.
Thank you so much, sir. And thank you so much for making this journey very easier, sir.
Thanks for the gesture, Ananya. Now let's begin. But before beginning that, let us know that what you have been doing, from where you graduated, and from what motivated you to prepare for NABARD. Please let us know.
Sir, I did my graduation in agriculture and I graduated in 2021 from College of Agriculture, Nagpur, Maharashtra. And after during my college years itself, I was knowing about NABARD. And during my RAWE program, I knew about NABARD and I met people who was working in NABARD and preparing for NABARD. So all these things have motivated me. And right from 2022, I was wholeheartedly preparing for NABARD.
Okay, so it took almost 1 year to prepare for the examination and crack this exam, if we count from 2022. Is this your first attempt or second attempt in NABARD?
Sir, this is my second attempt. My first attempt, I couldn't qualify the non-merit session, sir.
Okay, right. So now coming on to the different phases of examination, phase 1, phase 2, and the psychometric test, then your interview round. So we'll talk about all these rounds one by one. Now coming on to the phase 1, what went wrong in your first attempt and how you have improved for the phase 1 in your second attempt? If you can do a comparative analysis, what went wrong in the first attempt and how did you improve yourself in the second attempt?
If I speak about my first attempt, I just got 2 months for my preparation. I started late, so that was one mistake I did. And so one thing I would say is that we need ample amount of time for this examination because qualifying sessions plays a very important role. Since I lost in my qualifying session, that was English. So I think giving ample time for the qualifying session is very important. And also during the exam, we need to manage time for the qualifying session. For example, if I speak about maths, if we complete a certain amount of questions, we need to switch immediately to the next session rather than just sticking on to one session. So that was one thing I would like to say about the qualifying session, which I went wrong for.
Now coming on to the different segments of your qualifying paper only, if we talk about quant, reasoning, is there any specific time allocation you are having to practice these things or you are practicing randomly for this qualifying paper for the phase 1?
Through the entire journey, I gave 1.5 hours every day for qualifying sessions. In that sense, if Monday I spent 2 hours for maths, Tuesday I used to give for reasoning. And so I used to alternate it. And reasoning and English part is like we can easily complete it in 1 or 2 months. So I gave time for quant and computer and decision making. And decision making is also something which can be completed in a very short span of time.
Right.
So computer and quant, I gave focus and reasoning too, sir.
Okay, fine. So this is one important message for the future aspirants, especially for the freshers, right? Do not do that. You are not practicing the non-merit section, only paying attention to merit section. You will see that you have scored very well in merit, but you are not in the list due to this, not qualifying the non-merit section. So pay attention. You don't have to pay much time, as Ananya said, 1 hour, 1.5 hour, 2 hours as per your capability. You can, from starting only, you can do that, right? Now coming on to the merit section of the phase 1. How exam went on, the ARD section, the ESI section, right? How was the paper and the GA section, the 40, 40, 20? Let us know that how the examination went.
Sir, for the ESI part, what I did was, sir, I used to do PIB. I used to read PIB every day. I never used to miss even one day. And in PIB, I used to read all important ministries. I used to make notes from that. I used to make notes in Google Notes. And I used to write, heading was like for week one. If it's March, I used to write March, week one was the heading. I used to copy paste important values, things which was there in the release. And I used to take the printout every Sunday and I used to revise that. And after that, I used to do your power plays. So it acted as a source of revision. I used to do multiple revision in different ways. And certain questions from your power plays was not there in the PIB which I made. So I used to note it down in the PIB which I have taken out the print. That was I did for ESI part. And the schemes are your notes I used to refer. I used to read it in detail. I used to do multiple revision in the ESI part. And in the ARD part, since I'm already an agriculture graduate, I knew certain amount of things. So your note is something like even a very beginner non-agri graduate can easily understand. I also referred NABARD Sunday notebook. One handbook is there. So I used to supplement clarity notes with NABARD Sunday book also. In that NABARD Sunday, certain portion like pathology, entomology, I used to skip. But I used to focus on agronomy, soil science. I used to read about it. That was I did for ESI and ARDC.
Now coming on to see one thing, when you go to the examination hall, say, this is very important, right? What we are practicing, say you have studied PIB and you were giving test also, but when we go to the examination hall, the way of question NABARD asks, what difference do you see in the practice what we are doing in the homes and when we actually face the examination in the examination hall? Is there any difference? You can recall something like that? The questions were not on a tougher side, were on the easier side, or the questions were very lengthy. What sort of things you have observed in the real examination?
Sir, I think your power play was like very similar. So I was like, I used to do your power play multiple times. So it was like I felt it's like same to your power play, sir. I didn't feel much difference, sir. I just felt that we all will be nervous in the exam. So we just need to control our nervousness and attend the exam. So that was the only difference I felt, sir.
Okay. See, one message I will like to give to all the candidates. See, whenever you're solving the power plays, if you don't solve it multiple number of times, you won't be able to recollect in the examinations. So power plays, whatever is being provided by me are at the higher level only, right? And if you solve it multiple times, you will be able to recall. But eight time, if you solve only one time, you won't be able to recall because there are so many things, right, Ananya? So I think you also used to do multiple times of revisions for the power plays and the things, whatever you have noted down, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. And as she shared, the ARD part was a little bit on the lighter side for her, being an agri candidate. Now, coming on to the phase two of the examination, this is the main thing, right? The main battle of this overall NABARD. What was the strategy for the objective, for the subjective, and the English? If you can detailed manner, if you can let the candidates know what you really used to do after the phase one.
Sir, even before prelims, in the month of March and all, I was preparing in the mains perspective. I used to write answers from March. So by the time prelims were over, my typing and there wasn't much time. Only 10 or 15 days was there. So I was much prepared even before prelims for the mains. So right from March, I used to write answers every day. Every day I used to write answers. On certain days, what I used to do is there is 10 fast fingers, one app is there. So I used to practice certain words in that to increase my typing speed. And so what I would like to say is that we need to practice maximum number of answers. That too in the limited time. For example, for the 400 words answer of PSI, I used to give 20 minutes. And for 600 words, I used to give 25 minutes. I always used to practice in that time period by setting the timer.
Right.
And so for English, I used to give 30 minutes. For essay, for letter and precis. But letter is something we can complete it in 15 or 20 minutes. So I used to get extra time for the essay part.
So a proper time-based practice is very important according to you. That is also because that gives right practice in real examination. Now coming on to, as you were saying that you started preparing very early for the mains also. So how many question answer you used to type on a single day on an average basis, right? 1, 2, 3. What was your number of questions you were practicing?
So if I speak about the month of March, June, July, I used to write one English and one ESI answer.
Hmm.
Because ESI, we need time management. English
Hmm.
is like we have time, but we need to rectify our grammar by checking it in Grammarly. So for
Hmm.
managing time, I used to practice ESI, one answer ESI or ARD,
Hmm.
and the other one was English.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
when the prelims, when it was like 1, 2 months before prelims, I used to write one or two answers in a week.
Hmm. Hmm.
And by the time of prelims, I skipped writing answers. But I was actually very handy with answers by the
Hmm.
time of
Hmm.
March, June, July by practicing during that time.
Right, right. See, this is also important. This is what I also tell to the students also. The when examination is not near, right? If you start right now, say if you are starting in the month of March, then what will happen? Just try to practice one or two question, or weekly at least. If you write 3 to 4 questions also, right, and the answers of them in on a quality basis, that is more than enough. As the examination nears by, then you can increase the intensity of writing the answers. So slowly you can start with, later on you can increase the intensity. Now coming on to the real examination, when you face the descriptive answer writing, right, in examination hall. So have you answered all the questions this time? And that to the word limit they have asked. What was your take in the real examination?
Sir, in the real exam, actually, I got time for writing the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, when I used to practice one question in 20 minutes, or I never used, I didn't get the time to complete 400 words. But in the main exam, I really got the time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because I practiced. I used to do all your moves. I have done all your
Mm-hmm.
moves. And you
Good.
also used to give me marks regularly for that. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that have really helped me in completing the answers on time.
Right, right, right. And coming on to the second thing, that is your English, right? English descriptive. This time they have increased the word limit for essay and all. So how do you manage that? Writing a more number of words. I think you practice for 300 or 400 maybe, but they have asked more. So were you able to complete the word limit in English as well?
Yes, sir. English is something we'll get time. We just need to give answers in a simple and in a very good manner. So I got time for
Hmm.
writing the answer.
Okay, good. One more part of this mains is your objective, right? Objective ARD and ESI. And I tell every student that this is the most important area. So how was your objective, right? Uh, how do you used to practice, and how many answers you have given in the objective part? Almost, if you have counted with the answer keys and all.
Sir, for objective part, as you said, sir, only certain schemes are important for mains.
Hmm.
So, uh, for schemes like MG Narega, Pradhan Mantri
Hmm.
Malchi Sampada Yojana. So,
Hmm.
when compared to prelims, when it came to mains, I only concentrated on important schemes in a deeper
Hmm.
way. And
Right.
agree also certain parts where almost 5 questions they need to ask.
Hmm.
For
Hmm.
this time, it
Hmm.
was soil science. So, I used to focus on important topics for mains.
Right.
And in the main exam, I don't remember how many number of questions
Okay.
answer I
Okay.
gave, sir.
Results will come soon, and we will get to know.
Yes,
So
sir.
this is also, see, very important message if you're listening to her carefully. When you're coming to the mains, the number of questions are way less. So if the number of questions are less, the examiner will be setting the question only from the very important topics. So schemes also, do not try to read all the schemes again. Try to mark it out, but which are the major schemes and which scheme you have to read it deeper, as you have done in agriculture also. Which areas of the agriculture, right, are important, that you have to study deeply, because number of questions will be less. So this is very important message given by her. Do not try to expand too much in the mains, right? Limit yourself and try to read in a deeper way those things for the mains. That's very important, right? Very good. Now coming on to the final phase of the examination, that is your interview. How was it? What do you feel about the interview of the NABARD?
So the interview was like very liberal. They were very friendly panel, and the number of sources we need to learn is also very less. So I used to revise all the things you told, like the annual report, the PLP, and certain things you have told to me. So like it was very liberal and friendly kind of interview. Sir.
Okay, so it went on to which angles, means related to agriculture or related to your areas, means what was the prime focus with you with respect to your interview?
Sir, in interview, my first question was Kudumbashree. Since I was the only girl from Kerala, so the first question itself was Kudumbashree. And you have already mentioned to me to read that in detail. So I knew the answer in detail about Kudumbashree. And the other thing was the comparison of the agriculture in Kerala and the agriculture in Nagpur, which also you have
Okay.
told me in my mock interview.
Right.
So that was certain, like the questions were like something we already thought that would ask.
Right. Good. Good. So I think your whatever mock we took with you, that also came into play handy for you, right? Very good.
Yes,
So
sir.
that's it, Ananya, from my side. Definitely your story will motivate many others from Kerala as well as from entire India, right? So my best wishes to you for all your future endeavors in your life.
Sir, one thing I would like to say,
Yes,
sir,
please.
so your
Please.
notes actually made us to do smart work rather than hard work. Your materials, your power plays were like very concise. So, so like it was like not bulky. So it made us to do smart work rather than hard work.
Right. That is what I say. For examination like NABARD and even for RBI, you don't have to delve too much, right? Reading this, reading that. Try to do smart work. That is the thing, because areas are picked. If somebody knows from where I have to read and what I have to read, the things become much simpler for him or her, right? So that is what I try to do. And you also told that. Thank you, Ananya, for that gesture.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, Ananya, best of luck.
Thank you, sir.